to allow paddlers to experience that challenge and to try and relive the same adventure that Dr. Player lived in the 1950s.
Day one has two 4-kilometre-long portages. The first, Campbells Farm, through the cane fields at Hacklands Farm. Well, there's not a great deal of love for this bit of real estate. The long Campbells Farm portage from the Braai takeout compulsory this year. Every paddler digging deep and looking forward to arriving at the top of the hill. And as we see, portaging is a learnt skill, as multiple Surf Ski World Series champ David Mock from the Cape is about to discover.
Then you've also got this dynamic of portaging. So it's not really just a race, it's like an adventure race. It must be one of the first adventure races that existed ever. 3 days, 120 kilometres, and there's so much that happens in between Pietermaritzburg and Durban. The intrigue of this race is really what's always attracted me. So I'm so excited for 2015 to finally be able to do my first one. But we'll see, we'll only be able to see when that comes about. So ask me that question again at the top of Campbell's Portage.
No sooner have you dealt with Campbell's than there's the harder Guinea Fowl Portage. One of the record 8 stand-up paddleboard entries, enjoying it though. And we see Sabinala Coella leading at Mission Rapid, 11 kilometres from the end of the stage. And in the women's race, it's all about Laura O'Donoghue, with Epworth schoolgirl Canna Peak in second place.
It's interesting, the stand-up craft, it's a big one, and the Ks, you've got quite a few K3s that do it, and it's people wanting to try different challenges, and believe me, to get a stand-up craft to Durban is a significant challenge.
Stand-up paddleboarding originated in Hawaii. It's traditionally an ocean-based sport, but in the last 7-8 years it's moved inland. Lots of people doing it in flat water. They're paddling around for fitness. There's races that are coming up all over the place. Then it went to whitewater as well. About 2008, people started doing whitewater. So instead of taking a canoe down whitewater, they started taking a stand-up down whitewater.
Well, this year there's 9 of us doing it, so there's a little bit more competition. There's quite a range of us doing it, from extreme novices to there's a team of 4 from the States who are coming out. We'll never know until we're actually on the river how competitive these guys are. It's got its advantages, it's also got its disadvantages. The advantages are you're standing up on the board, so you've got a good view of your line down the river. You can also, if you do happen to fall off the board, you don't have to stop and empty your boat. It's a quick back on the board and off you go again. The disadvantages are on flat water with a headwind, because you're basically a sail trying to sail into the wind. Down whitewater, you would normally just change your stance to a little bit more stable, put 1 foot further back, and if there's a chance of you actually hitting a rock, then I would go drop knee. It just lowers your chances of hitting a rock and you go falling forward onto the board.
Well, as we've seen, day one on the river has been exceptionally tough, and the war stories afterwards reflected that. However, the story doesn't end there. We'll have more from the Dusi River Race in next week's show.